Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Eunji Kim.
Hey, hello. Okay, Mia, before she brought me out, literally put this microphone in her armpit. It's because she was making fun of the fact that I put the mic on my chin. And she was like, is this like a technique? And I was like, no, this is because I'm lazy. I just like to rest it here because otherwise I have to hold it. Anyways, that's the kind of Asian excellence I'm bringing you this evening. I do want you to know I am pregnant. Thank you. I just need you guys to know that because I'm like kind of at the stage where you guys can't tell if I'm like pregnant or like body positive. And I do need you to know I am not body positive. I am body ashamed. And just like any good Korean girl is. My mother wouldn't want it any other way. You know what I mean? Okay, it's like nice to do comedy in like, a room where there's a lot of other Asian faces, Korean people, etc. It is very nice. Because usually I do comedy in like very white rooms. I've done comedy in places like, I don't know if you're familiar with it, places like Indiana. And I'm just seeing these old white people looking at me like, this slutty baby has got a lot to say. She's got a lot of confidence. It's true. But I used to say, and I don't comment usually on my appearance because it's like vacillates very much upon audience, how people perceive me. I used to call myself a 6 on stage. And I would do these liberal rooms, and all these like Gen Z teens are like, no, queen, you're a badass. And then I do comedy in places like in River North, and like these like hotties are like, this 6 is very confident. And then I do comedy in places like this in front of my own, and all these Korean people are like, this 50-year-old is dressed like a slutty baby. Nobody drags you like your own. I've done comedy in a lot of places like this, and actually, one of the shows I did very early on in my career was for a Chinese American political event. So, first of all, they hated me immediately. It was one of those kind of like catch-all Asian situations, and they did not like it. And at a certain point during the show, I understand. It was an older crowd, it was a political event, and there were a lot of older Chinese activists there. I understand it was 8 o'clock, I get it. And so... what it's like when you fall into sleep places, and I've seen people in comedy shows kind of fall asleep like this. At this event, these Chinese people were asleep like this. I could see their full throat. So it was recently Asian Pacific Islander American History Month. Just rolls off the tongue. But you guys know, you guys all got that email from HR. And demanding you celebrate your Asian coworkers. So I've been hosting a lot of these sort of events, and I was recently at an event celebrating Asian American filmmakers in the Chicagoland area. And it was actually really inspiring. It was kind of like this evening, all these Asian artists doing their thing and, important shit. Documentaries about Asian people with no legs, And I was there because I was recently a pizza judge on a food reality competition show. It's gonna be on Hulu coming this fall. A show, by the way, during the filming of which I was repeatedly asked to stop eating all the pizza. because every time producers were like, cut to Kim, and my mouth was always full. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, not all Asian heroes wear capes. It's true. Any immigrants in the room? Okay, cool. Any children of immigrants? Yeah. And you know this, children of immigrants, like, and my relationship with my parents as well, like, our relationship to America is distinctly different, right? Like, your parents and my parents still envision America as this place of infinite possibility and wealth. And I know the truth. Let me just say this. I thought this until, actually, the first time I ever saw a white girl call her mom a bitch at the mall. And I was like, oh, that's what freedom is. I'm gonna do that someday. No, of course I would never do that. I recently got in trouble. I'm 40. I'm so afraid of my mom. It's true. But I mean, like, you guys all know this, like, as children of immigrants, as immigrants, there's like a certain level of complaining you are simply not allowed to do, right? Like, I see a lot of nodding heads, yeah. You can't say shit. Because immediately it's like, and this is an actual conversation I had with my mom. And by the way, you guys, I don't hate to do this, but like, as an Asian comedian, I am legally obligated to do an impression of my mom. I hate to do it, but laws are laws. But this is an actual conversation I had with my mom, okay? And I'll do it mostly in Korean because whatever. I never do that. She literally is like, 은지야, 맞아. 아보카도 되게 비싸. Why are you so expensive, avocado? Whole Food 뭐 잘한다고 그렇게 비싸? 그 말이야. 근데 엄마 이해돼. I understand. You know, when mommy young, mommy have to eat a tire because of the war. I'm 4. This is too heavy. And it's about anything. And it's immediately locked into some sort of crazy story about like, and this is why when we came to America, by the way, we only survived that first year in America because of a ruby we pried out of your uncle's melting flesh as he burned alive in a match factory fire. A factory, by the way, our family once owned. Until the communists took it. So no, you can't quit clarinet. It's like, okay. You gotta pick right on that day in 3rd grade. So, this is an impression of my son doing this show. Actually, my son will never do comedy. I will love him correctly. So, but this is an impression of my son doing the show in 2030. My name is Solomon Edelman. You guys, I did marry a white guy. Whatever. I fucked up. It is the only mistake I've ever made. So. My name is Solomon Edelman, even though I look like a John Lee. And this is an impression of my mom. She's an older Asian lady. Oh, Solomon! You guys, I'm gonna get an accent when I'm old. That's how it works. Oh, Solomon, you're so sad because you have to live in bunker because of ozone layer. But you know, when mommy young, Wi-Fi very spotty outside of the city. I'm gonna leave you on this quick thing. So I am Jewish, by the way. I did convert from my husband, and it's not. You know, whenever Korean people hear that, they're always like, "Oh, what did your parents think?" And I'm like, You have to understand, I'm much better looking than my husband. He's rich. My parents don't care. What are you kidding me? I do this. They're so relieved. So, yeah, I converted, and my son has been coming home lately. He goes to CPS, which is the public school in Chicago, and he's been coming home and saying stuff like, complaining that there aren't enough Jewish kids in his class, And I kind of looked at my husband and I was like, when are we going to explain to him why there aren't more Jews? And because they're in private school, and but he was complaining about it, and I was like, what are you talking about? There's a lot of Jewish kids in your class. Silas, Edie, by the way, he's in kindergarten. This class list reads like a ship's manifest going into Ellis Island in the 1920s. It's all Silas, Edie, potato. It's weird. So I was like, hey, what are you talking about? There's a lot of Jewish kids in your class. Silas, and he stopped me. He was like, wait, Silas is Jewish? Silas doesn't look Jewish. I was like, first of all, classic toxic white male. And I was like, what do you think a Jew looks like? And my son looked at me and said, Asian.